You're scrolling through endless treadmill listings because you need something that actually works for your home workouts, not just a glossy brochure full of numbers. You want a machine that feels solid under your feet, lets you dial in the effort without a complicated app, and won't disappear into a corner of the garage after a few months. The big fear is ending up with a pricey piece of equipment that either breaks, feels too stiff, or turns your living room into a noisy gym you can't live with. That's why I spent a solid weekend testing a few different options and talking to a couple of people who already have manual curved treadmills at home. The model I'm looking at today is the Sanrahan Curved Manual Treadmill, a non-electric runner that promises 6 levels of resistance, a 5-layer shock-absorbing belt, and a digital monitor that tells you speed and distance. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the whole concept of a manual treadmill is a little different from the motor-driven units most people picture. There's no motor, no electricity, and the belt moves only because you push it. That means the treadmill is essentially a big piece of kinetic equipment that forces you to generate the power yourself. The upside is immediate control. You speed up or slow down just by how hard you push, which feels more like running outdoors. The downside is that you have to be comfortable with that self-propulsion. If you've never run on a curved surface, there's a learning curve. Setting it up is surprisingly straightforward. The box is large, but the treadmill arrives mostly pre-assembled. You just have to pop the side rails into their slots and lock the belt tension. All the tools are in the bag, and the whole process takes about 20 minutes with 2 people. Once it's upright, the digital monitor snaps onto the front rail with a simple clip, no wiring needed because the unit is fully self-powered. I tested it on a carpeted floor and on a hardwood floor. The rubberized feet stay put, but you do want a mat underneath if you're on a hard surface to protect both the floor and the treadmill's belt. Now, who should actually consider buying this thing? If you're a runner who already does a lot of interval work, enjoys the feeling of controlling speed in the moment, and wants something that won't add to your electric bill, the Sanrahan fits nicely. It's also a decent option for people who want to keep a treadmill in a smaller apartment because it doesn't need a power outlet, and the frame is a bit slimmer than many motorized models. The 6 resistance levels are adjusted simply by shifting your body weight forward or backward on the curve, so you can get a light jog or a steep hill sprint without fiddling with buttons. On the flip side, if you're a beginner who's still figuring out basic running form, a manual curved treadmill can feel intimidating. The belt's curvature forces a slightly different stride, and the lack of a motor means you can't set a pace and walk away. Your legs have to do all the work. For someone who prefers a set-and-forget cardio machine or who needs to run while watching TV, the monitor is there, but there's no built-in entertainment. This model probably isn't the best match. Also, if you're looking for a treadmill that can handle very high speeds for sprint training, the manual design caps out around 1,213 miles per hour, which is fine for most recreational runners, but not ideal for elite sprinters. Talking about practical strengths, the shock-absorbing belt is the first thing you'll notice. Sanrahan uses a 5-layer construction that feels noticeably softer than the thin belts you find on cheap folding treadmills. During a 45-minute run, my knees reported less fatigue compared to a standard budget motorized unit, which suggests the belt is doing a good job at reducing impact. The curved deck also encourages a more natural foot strike. Most users end up landing midfoot rather than heel striking, which can be a subtle but helpful change for injury prevention. Another real-world benefit is the self-powered digital monitor. It shows speed, distance, time, and calories burned without needing a battery change or a wall plug. Because the monitor draws power directly from the belt's motion, you'll never have to worry about it dying mid-workout. I ran a quick test where I walked slowly for 5 minutes. The monitor still displayed a reading, albeit at the lower end, proving it can pick up even gentle movement. However, there are a few trade-offs worth mentioning. The first is noise. Manual treadmills are quieter than motorized ones at low speeds, but as you ramp up the resistance, the belt can get a rhythmic thump that echoes in a small apartment. It's not deafening, but if you have thin walls or a sleeping baby, you might need to time your harder sessions for when the house is empty. The second trade-off is the lack of built-in incline adjustment. The 6 resistance levels mimic hill work, but they're not the same as a true incline angle. You're